I think we're live. All
Okay.
right, well, welcome everyone. I am Christina Johnson, transformational nutrition coach and founder of the Emerge Weight Loss Program. And I'm excited to have Debbie here with me today. Debbie just recently, I don't know what, 3 weeks or a month ago, finished the
It's just been
Emerge
a couple
program.
weeks ago, I think.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, so she just recently went through the Emerge Weight Loss Program and finished it. And I invited her to come on and just share a little bit about her experience because I just think that, I mean, so many of you watching have probably tried all kinds of different diets, things like Weight Watchers and keto and intermittent fasting and, all the things. And when you're wanting to or considering trying something different, like creating a healthy lifestyle or a clean and mindful eating lifestyle, it can just kind of be hard to know what it looks like or what that even means or what's even possible by that. And so I think a lot of you will relate to a lot of parts of Debbie's story and the things that she'll share. And also I think it'll just maybe encourage you about what's possible, and she'll be able to give you a better idea of some of the things that she's done and lessons that she's learned and what it's meant to be able to create this healthier lifestyle. So, welcome Debbie. Do you want to just briefly introduce yourself?
sure, I'm Debbie and I am retired. So I'm kind of um, all over the place with eating. I used to be, I'm a routine person. So retirement has kind of thrown me off that. I'm kind of gradually getting onto it. So I'm trying to make my eating more of I need a routine. And this is really good because you have to have a routine in this. You got to keep consistent. So,
Yeah,
um,
it's so interesting. I talk to people all the time. A lot of people in Emerge are retired or nearing retirement. And that's one of the biggest challenges is not having a routine and just like your lifestyle is more like free flowing.
right when you're working, you know you had breakfast, you'd eat your lunch or dinner, but now you're just kind of don't have a schedule, so you're trying to figure out what do I do. So
Yeah,
I think that now with this program, I've got it down. So
good. Yeah. So I definitely want to talk more about how a routine has been helpful for you as we go. Um, So, okay, so to get started, and for those of you watching, if you're watching later in the replay, just say hello to us. And as we go, if there's things that you can relate to in Debbie's story or things that are encouraging, like please share that. It's not always easy to come on and do these videos live in the group.
right.
So, we'd love, both of us, I think, would love to hear any feedback you have and what you can relate to and what's encouraging to you. But okay, so Debbie, before like you and I had talked before you started the Emerge program, like the months or maybe even years before that, what were some of the things that you were struggling with or some of the challenges that you were facing?
My biggest challenge was I didn't really know how to eat properly. I always heard clean eating. I didn't know what clean eating was. I had no idea. So I just didn't know if I could eat a potato, if I could eat corn. I didn't know. I just had
Yeah,
no clue. So I just I couldn't lose weight. I mean, I just kept like I was putting on, it wasn't a lot, but I kept putting a little bit here, a little bit there. And I think, and I could feel it in my clothes and I didn't really look bad, but I could tell it and I just didn't feel good. I
yeah,
would obsess about it. I mean, that's all, it was constant on my mind. I get up and think, oh my God, am I going to gain weight today? What am I going to eat? It was really stressful for me. And I
yeah,
think then, of course, I think that stress was probably making me hold on to weight. So it was just kind of a
yeah,
battle for me. So I had to
yeah,
Google things and try to figure. It was really. I started following you and for the
yeah,
last several years, and you've been very
yeah.
helpful. So
Good. Yeah, it's so interesting, I think, to me that because it's not like, I mean, when you say that you just didn't know what to eat, it's not like that you weren't looking, that you weren't doing the research, that
right,
you weren't like trying to get the information. I mean, it seemed like you had a lot of information, but maybe it was like confusing or
it
conflicting.
was because you follow people. I do a lot of research. I read a lot of things, and I follow people, but they'd only just give you enough information to confuse me, or they'd help you a little bit, but then you're just kind of thrown out there to try to figure it out.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Like it's hard to know how to actually put it into practice or to implement the
or I
things.
didn't know how to ask a question and
Yeah.
I didn't know I couldn't quite get across what I was talking about, but that can all
Yeah.
change with you. I mean, it's really pretty simple.
Good, good. Okay, so I definitely want to talk more about that. So it sounds like you were just not, you were unsure about like what was healthy, what to eat. You were thinking about it all the time. You wanted to lose weight. Was there anything else physically that, like you said, you just weren't feeling the best?
I didn't sleep well. You know, I've got high blood pressure. I'm close to high, I am a little bit on the high cholesterol side, and they want me to take medicine, and I'm kind of not doing that right now because I want to try to see if this, hopefully when I go back to my doctor after being on this program for 3 months now, it's and a little bit more if I go back, it will make a difference. So my sleeping was really terrible, but I can't believe how my sleeping has really changed.
That's
Only time it
amazing.
doesn't if I drink coffee too late. So I'm kind of learning to,
Yeah.
I'd like to finally get off that afternoon coffee totally because I think it's more of a habit. They don't need it. Just,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably the biggest thing is, I just didn't feel good. My clothes weren't fitting good,
Yep.
sleeping, a little bit aches and pains. I don't wake up now with my joints hurting so much, it's a lot. I can tell, I think if I eat something I shouldn't, the next, I'll feel it and I'm like, what did I have? And I can think about it. It might have been a little sweetener or something in it that wasn't really good for me. And then I
Yeah. So you
but
were able to put connections together now between
starting
different
to
foods
figure it
and
out
what
on
you
things
feel.
because most of the time I don't have any issues when I'm sleeping, but I sleep sound. I'm sleeping a lot more sound now.
That's
So
amazing.
that's good.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you had been kind of following me for a while. So before you actually joined Emerge, like what were some of the hesitations or what made you like follow along for a while and wait a while to actually give it a shot?
Well, I would try it. I tried like a lot of, I looked into Noom, that Weight Watchers, the
Yeah.
21-day fix, Optimal 5-1 plan. I'd see different people on Facebook advertising, like, gosh, there's a new one out there now. They're offering these skinny drops. I'm thinking,
Oh,
but then you start hearing about all this stuff and thinking, I don't know. But then somehow I found you on Facebook quite a few years ago, and this is when you were doing in-person meetings, and I
that's
went to
right.
one of yours on eating, and from there I kept following you, and you always share all this useful information. And I would just like save all your information. I've just, watched some of your videos, attended a few of your online classes, and then you kept talking about this Emerge program. I don't know. What if it don't work for me? What if it
Yes.
don't, And then I just kept listening, and I thought, I was at the point where I thought, and I think you have to get to that point where you really want to do something. And I always did, but I was always afraid. I thought, what? If I don't do it now, and 6 months from now, it could be that much worse. So I just thought, well, I have nothing to lose. So I jumped in and did
Yeah.
it and joined.
Ugh, I just bet that there are a lot of people that can relate to that question, like, what if it doesn't work for me? Because I think, and I don't know for you if it was just because you tried so many things and you've been doing it
That's
on your own for so
exactly it.
long.
'Cause I thought I was doing a pretty good job. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought because I eat some sweets, but I never was, big sweetaholic or chips. I tried to keep healthy stuff in my house. I tried. But then I didn't know, I didn't realize you had to put all these food groups together. I just thought,
Yeah.
oh no, eat less. I tried eating less. I tried eating more. That if I eat more, then I'm like really gain weight. Then what am I going to do? I can't get it off.
Yeah.
And actually, with your guidance, that's been the answer, and that's what's helped me.
Yeah. Which, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I think a lot of people think, oh, I don't know. I don't want to add in a meal. I don't want to eat more.
I was
It
really
keeps
hesitant
coming.
about that. I thought, oh, I had to trust you and did it.
Yeah.
But you explained how these food groups work together. Because I always heard you can't eat carbs, no carbs. You can have some, like green beans, but you can't have corn, potatoes, or carrots. That's the bad carbs. Don't eat those. Well, you do need some of those. So
that contributes to that like obsessing, thinking about food all the time and
that's
like
exactly what I
feeling
was
guilty
doing.
over everything.
Exactly
Yeah.
what I was doing. I mean, that's my biggest relief is I can wake up in the morning and I don't feel that obsession.
Yes. So you feel like yeah, you're not thinking about food as much now?
Now, what I think about now is my challenge is to try to find something clean I can make now. It's fun.
Yes.
I'm looking at all the different things I can make now that
Mm.
before I thought, oh, I better not eat that.
That's an interesting switch. So before it was like stressful and overwhelming and yeah, like hard to figure out. And now it's more like you're finding the joy and finding healthy.
I have a recipe I might like before I was like, but now I look for a clean version of things, and there's usually something out there you can find that makes it clean. I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I mean, I've been sharing all these over bombarding, I think, the site with with recipes, but I get so
I think
excited
everyone
about
in
it.
Emerge loves it. So
I just get so excited. I want to share it all.
Yes, yeah. I think that's what's fun. And there is something about clean eating that's different than the other diets too, where like it does get to be fun and you do want to share it with other people because,
It's a challenge to me now. Instead of before it was dreading, it's a challenge to see what I can find,
yes.
It's fun.
Yeah. And how you can adapt something to make it the healthiest version for you.
I
Yeah.
feel like we're getting ready to travel, and I feel like even traveling as we're going out, I have the knowledge to pick something when I go out. I can get this meal. Before I was like, oh, what am I going to get? I get an egg and a whatever, and that's all I better have. Now it's, I mean, I bought little small cottage cheese to take with me on the road. So if I need some protein, I've got it. I'm making little protein balls. So I'm preparing myself for
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
And
yeah,
then you feel pretty, because you're going to be gone for a month, right?
right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that
to,
road trip, and I have that mentality. I need snacks on the road. So I'm like, okay. And because we won't be access to all this food driving. So I'm still going to be prepared so
yeah.
I can have some of that stuff.
Mhm. So great that you're feeling confident going into
Yeah.
a big trip like that about
Yeah.
eating well.
So,
Okay, so like you joined Emerge. What were some of the like the first things that you noticed about Emerge, or how was it different from other things you try, or yeah, kind of what stood out to you?
well, the first thing was your help and your program. Your program it was overwhelming at the beginning,
Yeah,
but you had so much knowledge out there. And it's like I just wanted to just suck it all in. I mean, so that was, I mean, but your assistance, because like I said, a lot of places they just kind of say, okay, here's this information, now
yeah,
go do it. But you had your weekly calls. That was the best thing,
mhm,
just to talk with other people that are in your position and
yeah,
hear how they're handling or what their struggles are. I've
yeah,
even went back on your site way back from a long time ago and read other people's questions,
uh,
trying to learn things,
yeah.
and see what
We
they've
can
had. And
learn
I've
so
watched a
much.
few of your other meetings that you've had on calls,
Mhm.
and just trying to learn more and more. So the
Yeah,
biggest thing has been having your help. That
yes,
I think that's is because you've given so much information on your Clean and Mindful website that, I mean, you're just doing it. You're just out there. You don't have to pay anything for any information. You're just here you go. You give so
yeah.
much that was the first thing that really attracted me to this. And so really there's no comparison between Emerge and anywhere else.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, so you feel like having the support to put it into place was really helpful for you.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So okay, so yeah, like thinking about what you did during Emerge, what you learned, kind of like the things that you put into place, how was it different than like the other diets or the eating less like you talked about and all of that?
So rephrase that question again.
Yeah, sorry. So how was Emerge different from the other diets you've tried or things that you've done before?
Well, first of all is teaching you and explaining why you need some of each food group,
Yeah.
and giving the examples of it, and having the online videos that we have access to forever, that you can go back and watch it over and over and over again. And I plan on doing that because the more you watch, the more you're going to learn. But
Yep.
I mean, it was so well organized. Um, you're always there. Other people, I followed several people on Facebook, and they wouldn't really give you much. I mean,
Hmm.
some things, but I still left you confused. You're right there for that support,
Yeah.
where you can message on your site, you can message you could do it on those video calls. That was really great. I think that was probably the biggest thing.
Okay. Yeah. When you think about some of the like changes that you've put in place, like you mentioned, getting into more of a routine, kind of eating a little bit more, adding in a meal. What were some of the things that you did that were most helpful for you in being able to lose the weight and not feel so overwhelmed?
Probably just it started out slow because I used to struggle at the beginning. How am I going to get all this food in? And sometimes it's still not easy, but I always try to get in the food groups you talk about, but trying to figure out and not overcomplicate it. Try to make it just start out easy with little things.
Yep.
trying to, just maybe your vegetable, your protein, your whatever, trying to just little things, maybe figure out one meal and focus on that. And that's what I
Yep.
started out was I got to focus on one meal, like, because it was like, oh my, how am I going to do 3 meals, let alone one
Uh,
meal? So I would figure out one meal and I'd kind of figure something out how that's going to work. And I still look at things all the time. Like I learned something today, roast up a bunch of vegetables like onions, mushrooms, and maybe asparagus and throw them in a freezer bag. And you want to make eggs one morning, throw some in with your eggs one morning.
that's a great
So
idea.
I keep learning this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really that's
Yeah.
really helpful. So try to figure out some shortcut hints, like you've always brought up, do the sheet pan dinners, and that's an excellent because you can get everything. It
Yep.
doesn't have to be, and like I come up with all these recipes, but it doesn't have to be all these kind of recipes.
Yeah.
I just love to cook, so for
Yes.
me that's a big challenge there. But you
Yep.
don't have to. Your program is very simple.
Good. Good. I'm glad you feel that. Do
It's
you
not.
feel like it takes a lot of time to eat this way?
um, you know, I think it costs more to eat healthy than it does junk food,
Yeah.
but not really because a lot of times I cook enough. We usually have enough for a couple meals for both of us.
Yes.
So I
You're
can
not
cook
cooking
on
every day.
2 or 3 days a week and we've got enough for the rest of the week. Or if we go out and eat, we always bring home leftovers. So it's not really.
Okay. I'm curious to hear a little bit more about your routine because you're like watching grandkids, you're going here and there, things come up spur of the moment. So how have you been able to make it work to like keep eating healthy consistently, even though your life is just, a little like hard to plan at times?
I guess because I've learned to make it more of my priority. I mean,
Mm,
like I know I'm going to be gone long day with babysitting. I figure out something I can, if we take them out to eat someplace, I'm already got my mind, where can we go that I can get something to eat? Or
yeah,
I have on the days I am gone, I make sure it's a leftover night. So I'm
yeah,
not walking in the house at 6 o'clock and then thinking, what am I going to make? I mean,
yeah,
I do meal plan. I do plan on
yep,
the weekends if I go grocery shopping. I look at my recipes. What do I want to have this week? So I am prepared because if you're not, I mean, there's been a couple times like I have nothing left over in the fridge and we've come home and like, what are we going to do?
yes,
And like, okay, maybe we'll throw on a piece of meat. And I always got, some things on hand like cottage cheese. I always have that,
yep,
you can always make a baked potato,
okay,
whatever. So I try to make sure I have fast stuff accessible.
good, yeah.
Or on my long days, like I said, try to make sure I have something prepared for that.
Yeah, it really does come down to planning ahead, doesn't it? If you like just think
It
ahead
does.
about what you have time for and can plan
And you
accordingly.
only really plan 2 or 3 things. And it doesn't, like I said, don't have to be anything major. Like one night I know I was in a hurry, we come home and I happen to have a turkey kielbasa. I'm like, oh, turkey kielbasa, green beans, potatoes. I threw a little olive oil, threw it in a sheet pan, threw it in the oven, and we had dinner in half an hour.
Yum. That sounds
So
delicious.
try to keep some of that stuff like that you can make quick on hand.
Yes. Yep. And then we kind of alluded to this, but before you weren't really eating 3 meals a day, right? Is that okay?
No, I didn't want to get heavy, gain more
And a
weight.
lot of people do that. It's big now. Like, let's just eat less or do the intermittent fasting. Yeah. And so talk a little bit about that, like, because it seems like it was helpful for you to add in a third meal.
It was. Sometimes it's still hard and it depends on what time I eat breakfast. I may not be real hungry for lunch, and
Yeah.
I'm finding myself now. I remember when I first started that, I'm gonna be starving still, but I am finding myself, you'd say you'd be full for 3 or 4 hours. Like, yeah, sometimes I am full for 3 or 4 hours if I
What
eat the right
happens when you
thing.
eat more, doesn't
It
it?
does happen. It's finally happening for me, but um, yeah, just it's more confidence of knowing what to do.
Yeah.
And but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So it sounds like eating a little bit more, eating the balanced meals, eating 3 meals a day, planning ahead, like those are all some of the things that have been most helpful for you, the changes you've made.
I've learned lunch things because sometimes we're usually in the middle of doing stuff. You're busy. I don't want to stop and spend. I
Yeah.
find in things I can make that, like I made this salad that has different kinds of beans and onions and stuff in it, and then I get a can of tuna, or if you want different protein, and I just have that for my lunch real quick. Or because I don't usually, my leftover dinners are my leftover dinners for another
Yeah.
night, not usually lunch sometimes, but or I'll make a big pot of soup, and then have that can be my lunch through the week or
Yep.
leftover dinner. So that's helped a lot. And you got to be kind of, you really got, I mean, you can't like you're going to run to Burger King and get a hamburger. Those days are over. So you
Yeah.
kind of got to think, I mean, you could grill up a few um, burgers or something, have on hand, just something,
Yeah.
on our travels. So I've got chicken in the crock pot and I'm going to make some healthy chicken salad to take along to
Mm,
have some salads, sandwiches. So
yeah. It's possible to
um,
eat healthy while traveling.
before that's not what I did. So yeah, you got to think a little bit. It does take, I mean, it takes a little bit of thought.
Yep. Yeah. I'm wondering, and I don't know if you know this off the top of your head or not, but we've talked a lot about like the changes you've made to what you're eating. But also in Emerge, we talk a lot about mindset things like the all or nothing and the perfectionism and like all of that. Have you like can you think of any like mindset shifts that you've made over the past few months or like the way that you're thinking about things differently?
My biggest mindset probably is just changing the thoughts of what I can eat when I thought I couldn't eat. That's probably my biggest because I was like, you can't do that. You have to, um,
Yeah.
learning how to, you know, stop in between eating. I learned to put my fork down, take time because I'm always like, eat, 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 get done. Okay, I'm
Go, go,
done. Move on
go.
to the next thing. I'm learning
Yeah.
to slow it down. My husband always say, "Guys, you're done already." So I'm learning. Sometimes he's beating me now. So that is probably one of the things. Breathing, slow down and take a couple of deep breaths. Just enjoy your food.
Yeah.
Plan my idea of you say plan for, because when I first joined this, I thought, I don't know if I can do this because I'm never going to get sweets again. I'm like, I don't know if I can live with that, but you can if you want them. I mean, I've learned actually it's kind of getting to like, as I've been in the program, the longer I find I don't really want them as much,
Mm, yeah.
because I'm like, the clean part starting to take over, push those other,
Yeah.
and I still will occasionally, but I
Yep.
can plan for it,
Yeah. So you
you know.
haven't given up sweets completely, but
No,
you're not wanting
I'm
them as much
not
either.
as much, and I'm okay walking away because I know, okay, well, I know if I really want one, I can have it.
Yes.
Mindset
Yeah.
of thinking I can never have something,
Yep.
whatever it be, just a sweet might be just a big fat juicy hamburger at the fast food. I can do that if I really want to. But when
Yeah.
I first started, I remember I had something. I'm like, I thought I blew it. I thought
Yeah.
I'm going to gain all this weight now. I should have done it. But you know what? The next day came, I moved on, and I was fine.
Yeah. That's another big mindset shift. So does that happen like anymore or it's frequently where you eat something maybe not so healthy and you feel like you
I
blew it?
try not to do that, but there's some like I did yesterday. We went and took our grandsons out for lunch, but I tried to get good stuff. But I had this little breadstick. I think, should I have done that? You know what? It was one little breadstick. You really wanted it. So, okay, it's
Yeah.
done. And I'm
Huh.
just back to today and feeling okay.
That's amazing that you were able to talk yourself through that because it is easy. Like you eat the bite of breadstick, and yeah, it's one bite, and then you can easy to end up feeling like guilty and beating yourself up for it. And then we get in that spiral of just like, yeah,
Well,
thinking we blew our
I
diet.
just try to tell myself, you know what, that was one day, but don't make a habit of it. Don't,
Yeah.
and I don't plan on, and a lot of things I might want, but it's something I'm not going to eat every day. I might
Yeah.
want, a cookie, but okay, I'll eat a cookie, but I'm not going to eat a cookie every day. That's when it's going to be. I used to be and I'm still trying to struggle, but I'm doing a lot better, is have that snack at night because
Yep. After dinner.
I need a snack. My husband would go to bed. I'm like, I need a snack. So I get a couple Oreos out. And it's only a couple Oreos. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine once, but not every night.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Feels like you're finding more balance. Just,
Finally, yes.
yeah. Yeah. Which takes some time.
It does. Like, and I know when we go on vacation, I'm gonna want maybe a ice cream or sometime, or maybe even
Yep.
a donut.
Yep.
Maybe not. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it every morning. I'm just gonna really try to be consistent.
Yes. Yep. That's the big thing. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing some of those things that have been helpful for you and the lessons you've learned. I think that, like, I'm sure there's people that can relate to that. Okay, so you've been eating clean for a few months now, 4 months. What are some of the results that you've gotten that you're most proud of or happiest with?
my biggest thing is probably my confidence in making good food choices,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
I think that's probably the number one.
Mhm.
Um, as a it's like a whole new world of food has opened up. So that is a big, it's like the loads off my shoulders. But the plus was I lost like 10, 12 pounds somewhere in there. So that's really good because I was
Yeah.
so afraid. I mean, I'd get on that scale like, oh God, I don't want to look, I don't want to look. Am I gonna, and like I'd be excited because I would lose. So
Are you
um
at your goal weight now or right around there?
yeah, I'd be fine where I'm at. If I
Yeah.
lose a couple more, fine. If I stay where I'm at, I feel good. I don't want to get so thin where,
Yeah.
but I feel 100% better than I did when I first started. I'm just amazed. I can't believe how, I can't say enough good things, how this program works. It
Mm.
does. It just does. And I was so skeptical. So if it can work for me, it can work for anybody. But you got
What?
to be disciplined. It's, you got to do the work.
Yep. Yeah.
It's not going to just fall off. You have to put the work into it. You're
No.
going to get out as much as you put in.
Did it feel hard during the process to do the work?
No, sometimes like with babysitting all the time, I felt like I was trying to get it in, but that was just my own, not because it was of anything in the program, it was just
Yeah.
me being busy. I
Yep.
mean, it's got to be important to you. You got to
Yeah.
want to take the time, and you just got to take the time. But you never pressured anybody to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Take your time, do what you got to do. And
Yep.
like I said, just I can go back is a good thing too,
Yeah.
because it's a lot to learn. So to go back, and sometimes I print everything out so I can go back sometimes, like, oh, can I do this? And I run back and look at my papers. Okay, I can have this.
Yep.
I can do this or whatever, what category, because it was trying to figure out what category does something fall under.
Okay.
Probably
Yes.
my biggest challenge, trying to figure
Yep.
that, is it a slow carb? Is it I know leafy greens, but what falls under that leafy green vet list? What is that? Because like cauliflower does, I'm like, oh, that's not leafy green, but that falls under that category. So
Yeah. 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 There's a lot of details that can be learned along the way.
yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, I
Any other
can't say
results?
enough.
I'm guessing the sleep is a big thing for you. You're happy that you're sleeping much better.
I definitely am.
Yeah. Good.
It's really good. I can't say enough good things about
Oh,
Emerge.
good. Is it feeling sustainable to you? I mean, I feel like maybe we've touched on this a little bit, but did this way of eating feel like you can do it for the long term?
It does, because it's what I've always wanted.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to know how to do it. And I like this being comfortable.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about it. Like I said, I have something. You're sure? I sure will. I know I will. I'm not gonna say I never will, but
Yep.
I know I have the tools and the knowledge now that I like this way. I like it. I like food, and I can eat good food now.
Yes. So you're enjoying it. You're not feeling like you're
Not,
missing out on
not
good
at all.
food.
No, not at
That
all.
is such a huge win, I think. To have
That's
a way of eating that you enjoy, that, yeah, you don't feel like you're missing out constantly. You can still enjoy things when you want them, the sweets or whatever, every now and
right.
then.
I just look for, like, I'm making your banana muffins to take with this. I got all
Oh,
the stuff, so I'm gonna make them because I want to might have a muffin with my coffee. I'm not gonna eat them all in one day, but I thought, well, I
yep,
want to have that choice.
yep,
And whether I eat it or not, but at least I know I can have that, and it's healthy, it's
yeah.
clean. So
Man, I just think I said this before, but I think it's amazing that you're going on this month-long trip, you're traveling in the car, and that you just, yeah, you've really thought through what to do. And it sounds like you feel just so
yep,
confident
I
about
think so.
maintaining it, even when you're in a totally different environment. I think that's a
Definitely.
huge win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any last thoughts you want to share, or yeah, like how, like what is your life like now? How is it different than before?
Well, I'm 10 or 12 pounds lighter, so that's different. But
That's a big win.
um, trying to rub off on my husband a little bit, trying to get, and that's why, since I do all the cooking, he didn't even realize I'm cooking clean. He thinks, he just thinks I'm really cooking. So um, it's helping with that.
Yep.
Just really having the knowledge and eating better, sleeping better, feeling better overall. I just seem to have a happier mood.
Yeah.
Um,
What do you think contributes to that?
I just think it must be cleaning my brain as I'm going out, because it just feels good. Because I don't have that worry on me anymore. I
Yep.
think that really is the biggest thing, is just that worry of, am I going to gain weight today? What am I, I'd get up and constantly think about it.
Yeah.
So now my
Yeah, and
thought
that
is, what fun thing am I going to cook today? So
yeah, I love that. So of course you would feel happier and yeah, just have a better mood overall. Mm.
your plate it, I take your plate it little thing that has helped a lot. In fact, I have a picture on my phone. So when I'm
Yeah.
traveling, I can just have access to, okay, if I have any questions, I can look at it again. Or if I'm out at a restaurant, I can look at it quickly. That's
Yeah.
a good thing to have.
So it sounds like you feel like you have everything you need to continue eating well. Like you know how to maintain what you've been
I
doing.
think so. I think I do.
Yeah. Which is a big issue. Like a lot of times, I think a lot of diets, you go on this plan, for 3 months or whatever and get to the goal weight. And then it's like, well, then what? But really, the goal in Emerge is to just lose weight in the same way that you're going to keep on maintaining it.
My
So
goal
that's,
is to maintain like I am. So in
yep.
order to do that, I don't want to go back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that. I,
Yep.
I'm so much happier now that,
Yeah.
not that I want to tie my weight into high happiness, but I just feel better, and feeling better makes you happy.
Yep. Yeah. So then it's worth it. It's worth
Right.
all the work and the effort you've put in and the
Yeah,
priority that you've made it. And
that's
I
right.
think that's another thing too. Like so many women feel like they don't have the time or like they like feel selfish almost for focusing on themselves. But yeah, when you're feeling better and have more energy and feel happier, like that benefits everyone in our lives, I
And
think.
you're right. I know when I first started, I used to feel guilty because my husband would want something different. I'm like, oh, fine. Like I for breakfast. I'm calling out, he's gonna have whatever. I say, okay, I'm making myself this. And I'm okay. You want this for lunch? Nope. I'm gonna have my salad with my tuna in it. Okay, you have. I'm finally like, it's what I want. I don't
Yeah.
have to eat it based on what he wants. I mean,
Mm,
our dinners are always together and it's what I
yep.
make, and a lot of times their breakfasts are too, but there's an occasion where it's not. And
Yeah.
I'm okay now, finally saying, okay, or do you want more vegetables? No, well, I'm gonna have more. I don't feel like I can't eat more than him. That's not gonna look good. But now
Yeah.
I'm saying you need to eat more protein. Tell him that now. You
Yep.
need to eat more vegetables. You need to eat this more.
Yeah.
I'm okay finally with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that comes from just feeling more confidence overall that you're like, you know what you're doing
I
and that
exactly.
it's
I
the
think
right
that's
thing
it.
for your
I feel like I am more confident. So I feel
body.
like I can tell him now that you should eat this or not that. Don't eat that.
Yeah. And you're just going to do what's best for you and
For
your
me,
body. And that
definitely.
keeps you feeling good and happy.
It does. That's right.
Ah,
It's
I
all
love
what
that.
it's all about. So
I feel like you've shared so many like good little nuggets and encouraging things along the way. Is there any like last thoughts that you have that you want to share with anyone watching or anyone who's struggling? Like kind of
just
you.
don't give up. I was very confused in the beginning. I thought, oh, how am I going to get all this in? But like I said, you're always there for questions. The group was there for questions, answers. You could post it anytime. You watch it over and over if you need to.
Yeah.
Don't rush. It's, but in the long run, it is definitely worth it. And you can't beat this program.
Well,
I
thank
just,
you, Debbie.
I just love it.
Aw, I'm very happy to hear you say that. Yeah, and so for those of you watching, if you are interested in learning more about the Emerge program, the next step would be to book a complimentary call with me, a lose weight and keep it off breakthrough call. And that's just an opportunity for you and I to talk more about what your goals are, what you're struggling with, what you're hoping to accomplish, and then we can figure out if the Emerge program is right for you as well or not. So I will, when we're done, I'll put a link in the comments where you can go to my calendar and schedule a call if you're interested in that. Yeah, other than that, Debbie, I just appreciate you taking
No
time and being
problem.
willing to go on video live and,
No problem
share
at
your
all. It's
experience.
been a pleasure. I've enjoyed this program. In fact, I was really kind of sad when it ended. I mean, it's because you get that relationship with you and all the other girls. It's like your family. So I was really sad about that. So
Yeah, it is. It's just such like a tight-knit group and a group where like people are pretty honest about this
sure.
area of our life that, is hard to be honest about sometimes.
You or no one else makes you feel like, what did you do? Why are you doing it? Don't do that. It's like, oh, well, hang in there. You can do it, or you're did a good job. So it's good.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you so much, Debbie. It's
You're
been so
welcome.
fun, yeah, working with you, and I appreciate you coming on today and having this conversation with
Thank
me.
you.
You're
Thanks for having
welcome.
me.
Yes. Have a great trip to
Thank you.
Texas.
I
All
will.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.